Hey there, and welcome to The Explainer. So let's talk about what makes a truly great speech. Is it that off-the-cuff, spontaneous magic that just seems to happen in the moment? Or is it something, well, a lot more structured? Well, today we're going to dig into that very question by looking at a source that might surprise you. We're talking about a super-structured playbook from all the way back in 1901. It's from R.A. Torrey's guide, How to Prepare a Sermon. Now, we're not looking at this as religious instruction, but really as a masterclass in preparation and persuasion that has some fascinating ideas. Okay, let's dive in. So here's our game plan. We're going to cover 4 key stages. We'll start with the preparation playbook, then move on to finding your message. After that, structuring for a verdict, and finally, making the truth memorable. Okay, first up, the preparation playbook. Now, Torrey's #1 rule is simple, but it's totally non-negotiable. You have to start with a rock-solid foundation. What does that mean? Well, he says every great message has to start with what he calls a subject or text. Just think of it as a single, definite idea that's going to be the core of your entire presentation. It's your North Star. Without it, he says, both you and your audience are just going to end up completely lost. And yeah, Torrey doesn't mince words here. This isn't about killing your creativity. It's about focusing it. He really warns against just hoping for some last-minute flash of genius, because, that approach usually just rewards laziness, not inspiration. Okay, so if having a definite subject is that important, how in the world do you find one? Well, that brings us right to our second stage, finding your message. So, Torrey lays out 4 pretty practical ways to discover your topic, and you'll notice it's all about actively searching. Not just passively waiting for an idea to strike. You can seek wisdom through reflection, or, and I love this one, keep a dedicated textbook just for jotting down ideas as they pop into your head. Or you could systematically work through a bigger source, or just read until something sparks. And this is where he makes a really critical point. He says there's a huge difference between making your points and finding your points. He argues you should never come up with your message first and then go hunting for a source to back it up. No. The right way to do it is to start with your core subject and then discover the points that are already there, waiting for you inside it. So, how do you actually do that? Well, he says you need to act like a detective. Take your subject and dissect it. And here's a fantastic tip. Imagine your audience is, and I'm quoting him here, a lot of interrogation points. Your job is to answer all their questions, using only the material you have in your core subject. Okay, so once you've found all these potential points, and you'll probably find a lot, the next step is about discipline. You have to resist that urge to just dump everything you know on your audience. Choose only what's most helpful for this specific audience on this specific day. Don't overwhelm them. All right, you've got your key points selected. The next phase is all about arrangement. But you're not just arranging them to be clear. No, you're arranging them to be persuasive. You're structuring for a verdict. And here's his strategy. It's brilliant. First, put your ideas in a logical order that just makes sense. Second, build to a climax. Don't give away your strongest point right at the beginning. Make sure each point flows naturally into the next. And this is the kicker. The very last thing you say should be the point that prompts a decision, the one that calls for action. And he's got some pretty sharp words for speakers who are all style and no substance. He says the great fault of many presenters is that their speech is just a beautiful work of art that, in the end, accomplishes absolutely nothing. For Torrey, if your speech doesn't have a purpose, it's a failure, no matter how elegant it sounded. And this leads to what I think is his most powerful analogy. He says a speaker shouldn't be like an artist trying to create something perfect. They should be like a lawyer in a courtroom. Think about it. A lawyer's only focus is persuading that jury and winning the case. Every single word serves that one goal. That's how a speaker should think. Okay, we're at the final stage. You've got your points, they're structured to persuade. Now you've got to polish the whole thing so that it sticks in people's minds long after they've walked away. So Torrey was a massive fan of using illustrations. We're talking stories, anecdotes, examples, and he saw them as way more than just fancy decorations. To him, they were essential tools. They're what make abstract ideas clear and concrete, they help impress the truth on someone's mind, and they actually give the audience a little mental break, which is key to keeping their attention. And check this out, it's the perfect illustration of his whole philosophy. He tells this story about 2 fishermen. You've got one guy, the scientific angler, with all the best gear, the perfect technique,
but he catches nothing. Then you've got this little kid with just a stick and a bent pin, and he's the one who actually catches the fish. The lesson is so clear, right? Effectiveness trumps elegance. It's about getting the result. So when you boil it all down, this whole structured process, from finding that first idea all the way to arranging the conclusion, it's all focused on one thing: getting a result. Every single step is designed to take an audience on a journey that ends with them making a decision.
Which kind of leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? In our world today, we put such a high value on raw, spontaneous authenticity. So what can we really learn from a playbook that's over 100 years old and is all about rigid structure and careful preparation? I mean, what is true authenticity? Is it just winging it? Or does it come from that deep, disciplined effort to share a message with real clarity and purpose? Something to think about. That's all for this explainer. Thanks so much for watching.